4 days after I retired, I took off in my motorhome and settled in Florida, lived there 15 years full time. I'm just incredibly happy to be back here in central Iowa. I would love to find a place to live where I could just walk to a coffee shop or a breakfast.
There is a tremendous mismatch between what the market wants in terms of housing and living in walkable communities and what we as cities, as builders, developers, as policymakers are delivering. Missing middle are all the housing types in the middle. It's a duplex, it's a fourplex, it's what we call a mansion apartment, it's courtyard apartments that exist even here in Des Moines in every pre-1940s neighborhood.
Housing goal number 1, provide diversity of housing options to accommodate residents of all ages, income levels, household sizes, and cultural backgrounds. That is missing middle housing.
I grew up in the thriving metropolis of Columbus, Nebraska, population 16,000 at the time. And my great-grandmother lived in a side-by-side duplex, very similar to what you see up here on the image, a block and a half from a thriving main street in downtown Columbus, Nebraska, where she could walk to get anything she needed. And she lived in a very small place. It was probably about 600 square feet. The idea is let's reintroduce these back into our vocabulary, back into our zoning, back into our planning, back into the builder's vocabulary as well. And over 50%, almost 60% of millennials are specifically looking for missing middle housing choices in walkable urban places. Almost a third of baby boomers also want to live in walkable urban places, and more specifically in missing middle housing types.
We hear a lot of stories of people who thought about going to warmer climates or other places and end up back in Des Moines.
You know, everything we do here in Central Iowa is done through collaboration. City of Des Moines stepped up. Greater Des Moines Partnership stepped up. The MPO and the Tomorrow Plan folks stepped up. Over the last 4+ years, our efforts have been to collaborate and to connect the threads of this tapestry that's going to make Greater Des Moines an even greater place to live.
We're trying to make all neighborhoods accessible to walkable neighborhood ideas in sort of a node kind of a system. So we have nodes all around our city that hopefully are accessible to all neighborhoods.
My name is Dan Perolik, and I am an architect and urbanist. More simply, I just have a real passion for vibrant, walkable urban places, starting at a small town scale and going up to big city scale.
It's amazing to see the change in lifestyles and how people feel about Iowa, and they feel an opportunity to live an urban lifestyle. Where they don't have to have a car, they can take public transportation, they can walk to work.
What I am really thrilled about is the level of improvement and sort of filling of the gaps that I see the more of Des Moines that I see, I can see that the whole concept of the livable community is catching on here.
When I left the Des Moines area 24 years ago, I'd probably rate the livability maybe a 4. And now it's at least a 9. Life would be perfect if I could just walk to more places.